Hey, 5th grade, this is day 2 of Picasso. We're going to take one of the drawings that you did yesterday and we're going to blow it up and draw it big on its own piece of paper and then color it. So follow the instructions on the drawing. Remember, these are your drawings, and so they need to be of whatever is in your mind, not what's in my mind. But today you're going to take what you drew yesterday, one of the pieces, you're going to blow it up bigger and redraw it and sort of develop it. It's called developing the drawing. So you're taking what was sort of a rough draft of it, and now you're going to maybe add some elements and then add some color. So do that, and I will see you here tomorrow. Alright, welcome back. Yesterday, or the last video, we did this, right? We did an organic Picasso face and a geometric Picasso face. Organic, geometric, right? Today we're going to pick one and we're going to blow it up on a full piece of paper. So you'll need another full piece of paper like this one and a pencil. I'm going to use a Sharpie. What I would do if I were you, if you have a Sharpie or a marker, go ahead and draw it first in pencil and then go over your lines with the Sharpie. I want to use the whole paper for this, and I'm just going to kind of copy this idea. I might tweak it a little bit to make it something that I'm a little happier with, but basically I'm just going to copy this guy. Now you might want to copy your organic person, it's whichever you pick, all right? But I'm picking this guy. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to copy him bigger. And remember, because I picked geometric, I'm going to try to make my lines as straight and angular as I can. Okay? Now I'm going to draw his eye on top of his head, which is bizarre but cool because it's Picasso. And I'm going to give him this big pupil. Now, I'm not super happy with this nose, so I'm going to change it a little bit. I'm just going to come off, it's sort of the same thing, like that. And I kind of went a little curvy, a little curvier than I would have liked, but that's okay. I'm just going to fix it with some shading. Messed up artist's trick is just, you know, fix it. Because nobody knows what you had planned. So that's what I had planned, okay? Now here's what's cool about this. It's absolutely fine to see the other lines that you're drawing through in a cubist drawing, which is what this is. And then, let's see, I need to give him an ear. I'm gonna give him a little bit more of a pointy, sort of Mr. Spock ear over here, because I'm adjusting. And now I'm gonna draw an eye here. And the big old pupil. Now here's the thing about Picasso drawings. I'm going to do this because I have a Sharpie. You can wait and fill this in later with ink if you want to, but I'm going to go ahead and color this in because they always have very big dark pupils. One thing in Cubism that's important is the highlights and shadows. They don't always make sense, but there's always a pretty good high contrast. And what that means is, like, black and white is the highest contrast, right? But then every color has like shades that go towards white and shades or hues that go towards black. And so the bolder those contrasts are, sometimes the more dramatic you're drawing, right? That's already looking more dramatic. I'm gonna give him, this time I'm gonna give him some eyebrows. Which way do we think this is going? Is this his eyebrow or should his eyebrow be over here? I'm gonna go here. I hope you agree with me. Otherwise, well, I don't know. Otherwise we disagree and there's nothing wrong with that. All right, there you go. I'm gonna fix this line because it's also curvier than I want it to be. Great. Now, I remember I have a mustache, so I'm going to start it right here. It's a curvy mustache. And I'm gonna bring it sort of down here. And then I'm gonna color it in too. Now here's the thing, the next step today, if you have crayons or markers or colored pencils or anything, the next step is to color this guy. Now you know what we didn't do? We didn't name them. So I'm gonna give this guy a name. I'm gonna call him Hortense. I like that name, Hortense. I don't know how you spell it. H-O-R-T-E-N-C-E maybe? Okay. His teeth. And what I'm doing, the reason I'm blowing it up is I want it to be a little bit higher quality. And I'm also just still kind of playing with the idea of this guy. Let's give him some hair. We parted it up here. I'm gonna go off the drawing a little bit. So here's something I'm gonna do. I'm gonna darken my ears here. I got sidetracked. I was talking about coloring, wasn't I? I'm gonna darken my ears here so that they stand out more because I'm about to draw some lines here. I'm gonna let this curve stay here because it's his ear. Because they're kind of a no rules. The next step is to color the guy. So you can be thinking about that, and you can use whatever you have to color him. If you don't have anything at home to color with, then that's okay. And you can do it some other time when you come back to school maybe. All right, I'm gonna darken this eye. And one thing that I'm doing when I do that is I'm also sort of adjusting the line so it's more what I want it to be. That's the great thing about doing this. Like art, you can fix it as you go. And now I'm gonna make this one match, just in terms of like thickness of the line. Okay, now what? Bow tie. I'm gonna move his bow tie over a little bit. I'm gonna change it a little. And then I'm gonna give him a collar. So notice I'm just making sort of little adjustments. I'll still give him some ruffles on the shirt. And there's the fancy guy. And so the next step is to color him, all right? You can pick any colors you want. I'm gonna go with, I don't know, I have to think about it, but I'll show you when I'm done. So at this point, you have blown up this picture or this picture, and you have drawn it. You know what, I'm gonna give him some stubble. He needs to shave a little bit. There. I don't know what kind of party he's going to where he didn't like shave, but there you have it. Because I mean, obviously he's well groomed. Look at his mustache. All right, I'm gonna color this with some fun colors, and I'll show you that, and then you do the same if you have crayons or markers or colored pencils or paint or whatever that your parents say is okay to work with, all right? Okay, so I've colored Hortense. I'm very happy with him. He's a very debonair fellow. He's got places to go, people to see, probably super rich. I gave him some gold teeth. He can afford gold teeth. So that's cool. All right, so what you'll notice is I didn't care about the colors like being realistic or not realistic. I just had fun with them. I picked colors that, you know, I thought went with Hortense. So here's what I want to do now, and I'd like you to try this as well. I want to do a little bit of shading so that I can give some depth to Hortense. So right now he's really, really two-dimensional, right? He goes this way and he goes this way, but he doesn't go like this way, right? And that's what shading can do for us. So I'm gonna start with the bow tie here, and you can do this as well. Sometimes it's about just pressing harder with your color or your marker, or sometimes it's about picking a darker shade. So I'm just gonna press harder though. So I'm gonna like come in here and I'm gonna press pretty hard to give that sort of some depth, right? Where the bow tie ties. Right, then I'm gonna maybe come here and just like do this just to give it a little bit of depth. So I'm not like working too hard at it, but just so it's a little bit more interesting to look at. So you can figure out on yours, okay, well, where should it be depth? Another thing I want to do though is I want to add some shadows. So the tie should be sticking out from him a little bit, right? So I'm going to add some shadows right underneath it to sort of indicate that it's coming out a little bit towards the viewer, right? And then I'm going to keep this shade, I think. Nope, I might go with this shade. And I'm just gonna come out here on this. And I might even do a little loop here to indicate that the knot sticks out farther than the rest. Right, and here's the thing. There's no right or wrong here. You're just messing around. You're just really just trying to make it more interesting, right? There, so that gives it a little bit of depth and makes it a little more interesting. I might come in here and do some stuff like that. Just messing around, right? Now I'm gonna come up here to his face and I'm also gonna give him some depth. So you know that like there should be a shadow under his nose, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and put some shading in there so it stands out a little bit more. And I might even do his mustache too. Like just go right underneath it. I'm not gonna worry too much about like where the light's coming from because this is a cubist drawing. And in cubism, the light is really kind of coming from wherever you want it to with whatever it is you're drawing. And I'll explain that more, well, you know, probably when you're in high school. Or maybe next time. Okay, so there's getting a little bit of depth. Then I want to, you know, I know that I'm going to give him a little shading under his eyes because that's how that works. Well, over his eyes actually, here. And then I'm going to come down and maybe make him a little older. Hortense is, I'd say he's in his mid to late 40s. He's still young enough to be energetic for parties, but he likes to take a nap once in a while. Same thing up here. I'm just giving him kind of eyeshadow, really. And then I'm going to definitely give him a little color up here in his ear. And the thing is, like I said, there's no right or wrong. Just have fun with it, right? And I think maybe that's it. Maybe I'm done with Hortense. Oh no, I better give him a little bit more of a 5 o'clock shadow here. So I'm just going to come in and I'm just pressing harder. This is actually I think the color that I used for his face. And now I'm going to press a little harder. So he's kind of got that 5 o'clock shadow going. because he probably just came home from work. His wife is like, we got to go to a party. He's like, I'm too tired for a party. Okay, fine, but I'm not shaving. And then they worked it out and lived happily ever after. Okay, so there you go. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. That's the assignment for today. Blow up your person and then into a bigger drawing, and then give it some color if you got colors. All right, see you next time.